In this lecture, I'm going to cover one of the design tools, Pseudocode. Pseudocode is one of the three design tools we will introduce in this part 1 of the AP Computer Science or Java for AP edition course. Basically, Pseudocode is to use English or English-like language to describe a program for a computation. And a formal definition is like pseudocode is an artificial and informal language that helps programmers to develop algorithms. Pseudocode is a text-based detailed algorithmic design tool. I emphasize this text-based because that you don't need any fancy tool. You just need a notepad or Microsoft Word or Google Doc or Microsoft PowerPoint, something like that. Something that you can visualize it, or something you can write down as a text. It will be enough. Pseudocode standard. There is no need for any standard because it is of freestyle. But if you really need some reference, this one can be a good reference. You can just look at this one. I have the attachment. And also, if need some other thing, you can search from the website on your own. And here is how to develop an algorithm. The purpose of using pseudocode is to develop an algorithm. And what is algorithm? Algorithm is the method to solve your problem. So first, you need to define the problem. What is the problem you are trying to solve? Second, you need to list down what information that I need and what kind of output should I provide. This is the I/O relationship. And I mentioned that the pseudocode is useful in the system design analysis stage and the design stage. So basically, it's called IPO stage. So to provide pseudocode is actually starting about how to do input, output, and the processing. So the next step is to describe the computation steps that can manipulate the input and output, do some computations, or provide the information you need. And then after you finish this algorithm, at last you need to choose a data set to verify whether your algorithm is working or not. Before going to do coding, you may have several testing on Excel or on something else that can help you to solve the problem, or even like a smaller scale program to verify your algorithm. And pseudocode, or program design language, consists of natural language-like statements that primarily describe the steps. Right here, based on the standard that I mentioned before, to give you an introduce, but this is not a limitation. Don't just think that this is the only way to do it. There's actually pseudocode is freestyle, and so you need to use a statement to describe your actions. You need to focus on the logic of the algorithm or program. Try to avoid language-specific element. Try not to use something that you need to implement in certain language. Because at this stage, for a real big team, probably the language has not been final yet. So write a label so that the program can be generated almost automatically. So that means that you should be described in certain detail so the code generation can be quick. And then the step need to be numbered to make it clear. And then here is one example for the pseudo language construct. You basically need to have the computing an assignment similar to Java. You need to have the input-output description, and then starting from the union tool, we will focus on the structural programming. And in structural programming, we have selection and repetition. And right here, I give you the pseudocode format for the selection. If some certain condition, you do something, and this actually you can come back when you are in the union tool. And then multiple selection, you have if condition then, or if then else. or you can if then do switch to. This if then else is called a multiple selection. A switch to you can is another language structure for you to do a multiple way of the switch. And then for repetition you have while, do while, and for loop switch style. Again, you can come back when you are in Unit 2. And right here, I give you a pseudocode example in plain English. That means that you can do whatever you want to do. Just write down the way you prefer. So if we want to find the maximum from a group of data, set a maximum to one of the elements, and each time you change your element and compare it to the maximum. If the element is picked is larger than the maximum, then set the element to be the new maximum, and repeat until you finish all the data in the group. And the last, the remaining maximum is found as the maximum of the group. Next one, I use the pseudocode I just picked to show as an example. Try to find a maximum from an array of data. Set the maximum to the element of the x, while you have now run out all of the element in the array x, and then you pick the current array element to compare to maximum. If it is greater, then set it to the new maximum, and then increase it for the next item. At the end, you return the maximum, then you find your maximum value in the array. And then based on my experience, a good pseudocode is like English or some language you know very well, so you can get the best flavor of it. And Java is a good candidate to do a pseudocode, but you just need to add Java and some English in. And here's a homework. You can write a pseudocode to perform the following task. Write down how to prepare breakfast with these elements. Thank you.